we're going to get a call from Mean Gene, I think, in a minute. But in the meantime, I'm going to do a quick dab. Do the same if you have one ready, I guess. And or do a bong hit, bro. One thing that was funny about being in New York was meeting all these people that came to came to Amsterdam back in the 90s and came through and did the the now famous Trichome Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing how it's ingrained in people's brains, like, yeah, you did the Trichome Challenge with me. I was like, yeah, of course, we did it with everybody. That's what they did. You know, came into my place, you had to do a bong hit, and I had to film you, which made people really scared.
Oh, yeah.
It was before people just didn't give a fuck and let people film everything they do.
Right.
But it was like, what? You want to take a picture, video? I was like, yeah, you know, whatever, dude. It's Amsterdam. No one's going to give a fuck. And, but they'd sit in front of a map of the city, you know what I mean? So it was like, and it said, you are here above their head. So there was no doubting you were doing a bong hit in Amsterdam where it was quasi-legal.
Right.
Instead of being in America. Anyway, next year's our 25th anniversary of that.
Oh, cool.
Which is kind of cool. So I keep getting reminded. So every time I meet somebody. So I met a friend of, so one guy was awesome. I was like, so Griff Dogs, which is in New York. It's like the coolest hot dog spot ever. Because you go in and it's like a hot dog place and there's a little phone booth in the corner. And you got to go in the phone booth and pop open the door. Boom. There's a little bar behind there.
Yeah.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the Adam Dunn Show. Who we got here?
Hi, I'm calling from Growstone, and I'd like to make a statement.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
I'd like to make a $1,000 payment.
What's that now?
I'd like to make a $1,000 payment
Yeah.
from Growstone Inc.
Uh-huh.
Are you ready for the number?
No. Yeah, we don't want to do that right now.
No, because we're on the air right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're live on the air on the Adam Dunn Show right now.
That was a weird one.
Okay.
They want to pay me, but it's not the right time, is it? Strange.
No.
Strange.
Okay.
But it was on Skype, though, right?
Yeah, that was on Skype.
Very strange.
I
I don't know. Crossed the matrix there.
Weird.
Strange things. Anyway, I was talking about secret bars at that moment when it all went down. I think that James should be listening to the show. He usually is.
Yeah.
He's probably driving right now. So if he wants to call in, or maybe that was him making a joke, because sounds like a James joke.
Ah, yeah. We could have some pranksters in the
Could be. But if he wants to give a call in, or I think we've got me and Gene calling in a little bit, so he wants to put the word to him that we are open and clear. But as far as the back to the Trichome Challenge, so I think next year, 25th anniversary, I'm going to have to put some serious thought into how to celebrate not only the Trichome Challenge, but just the fact that was kind of like the birth year of doing every stupid thing I've ever done. Pretty much that's industry orientated, you know what I mean? And I mean, before that, I was at Sensi for a couple of years, and obviously that's like the learning side of it all, let's say. But then it was like I'm putting it into action, you know. And from that point till now, it's strange to think 25, just because when I was there, I was about 20. I was about 24, I think, when I was there, you know, doing it, 23, 24. And so it was like, okay, you know, you doubled up.
Right.
And it's interesting to see the changes and the things that actually stuck in people's minds over those 25 years, you know what I mean? So it's like actually talking to these guys and going like, first thing they say to me is, dude, Trichome Challenge. I'm like, that's funny, because you're like the fifth guy in the room who's come over to me that I don't remember, of course, because Well, I remember the time period. I remember the group that he was with. I don't remember him in particular. You know, it was like one of those deals. And yeah, it was pretty cool. And speaking of which, we had the whole bro show, no show.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Yeah,
and didn't happen.
That happened and didn't happen. So I have to
Yeah.
explain that one, I think, because people are like, "What happened?"
I had no part of that.
No, I know. It was a classic. It was like I was doing a seminar. The internet was down here. The Xfinity lady wouldn't let me pay my bill without my customer number.
Oh boy.
And nobody here knew where to find the thing. And it was just like classic where I was just like, oh my God, really? It's a big, so it was so the bro was here. It was ready to go.
Yeah.
Mitch was here. He was ready to go.
Wow.
Everything was here except for an internet connection. And the worst part is that like I was literally standing in front of a crowd in Florida getting texts, and I'm like, oh my God, like I have another hour on this thing, and I'm trying to like take a break. Okay, everybody, let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
And then I go and try to deal with it, and Xfinity would not budge. There, I was like, are people trying to pay my bill? I was like, is that what's happening now? Are you saying that there's people out there that might pay my bill secretly? Because if that's going to happen, I will totally allow it. I'll put it on record right now that you can do that. You take anybody's money to pay my bill, because I'm just trying to pay my bill. It's like that simple, you know. So anyway, that was a problem on our end. Now I'm trying to get the bro to get back on the show, but it's Dead and Co. week in the East Coast, so forget about it. Forget about it. So hopefully soon, because actually in New York we had it lined up pretty damn good. Had an apartment, had internet connection, had it all figured out. I was like, all right, this is going to be good. Had all those same guys that were Trichrome challenging talk. I was like, bring it, we'll do it there. You know, like, and everyone was ready, and then it was a double bro show, no show combo.
Bummer, man.
So yeah. So it's going to happen though.
Should have done a show there with your little camera.
That's what I had. I had it all ready to go, but the problem was he wasn't there, and I was limited on time, and I was really trying to like just pack it all in, and I was like, I'm not going to the house if he's not showing up. So it's one of those just got killed at the Vine, because there was actually a party there at the Hudson Terrace, which is a pretty dope spot to go because their owners are pretty cool, and they got a nice rooftop terrace where you can get a little smoke on, which was huge in New York. If you can find a place that you can actually puff once in a while, and it's not all the time. I think it's the right event, but it was pretty dope. And so I was like, I could rather go there than, because the thing is, half the people that I wanted to go were going to end up there anyway. So I thought, but there's no way to do sound there because it was so freaking loud. It's like, yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was ready, dude. I had it all set up. It's pretty sad. So anyway, rather bring you quality sound from our studio, which is finally sounding better. And, and at least I know I have my trusty guy here, because I can't. Once you start doing something, and the minute there's a glitch, and you're off your game with that. You're literally like sitting there sweating bullets, trying to fix something in front of everybody. Not the look. It's not the look we're going for.
Sure. I got you, man.
Well, let me check with Mr. James and see what the plan is.
What was the site that?
Oh, the Bloomberg article.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could look up Pinsky King. Would be a sad thing to ever have to do, but I guess you may have to do it. And since it's recent,
I don't want to flip over to the screen because it'll make us go to part 3.
no, don't do that.
I'm not going to do that.
And it was
There
blue.
it is.
Yep. See, I knew that. It wasn't
First
so hard,
one.
right?
Yeah.
And so it was a great event though, actually, because it was like one of those things where it literally felt like it was one of classic production that I would have done, just because it was put together really. I mean, it was put together good, but it was at the same time you're trying to put together a weed event in New York, so you have to be kind of half telling what you're doing and half not, because at the end of the day they can't really say yes.
Yeah.
They can only say they didn't know or something, But at the same time, so when we got there, everybody was really mellow, and staff was smoking with us, and it was cool. And I was like, oh, okay, this seems cool. We're on the rooftop smoking with the staff. But then the minute that the real staff came in, like, it was like, oh, there's no smoking here. And we were like, had 150 pre-rolled joints. We had a dab bar. We had, everything was set up proper. Like, it was ready to go. And then it was one of these situations where we were like, okay, so you want us to go out front and smoke? Is that what you're saying? And I was like, yeah, go, do that. And so we ended up with like about 50 people out front, all puffing on, right on Delancey Street, which is like next to the bridge. And it's kind of, you're like in a really like small, tight street, and people couldn't even get through. It was kind of ridiculous. It was like, okay, so this is not causing more of a, and we're not drinking while we're up there. And that's all they really cared about, is how much alcohol they sold, So in a way, it was like your classic clubby event thing where you're just like, oh my God, it's going to all fall apart. But we hung together. Everybody went through it. Like, it was like Chloe basically went nuts and basically said they'll fucking shut the party. Just shut it down now. You know what I mean? And then everybody got the reality check of they're going to lose money on the bar. We're not going to have a thing. And everybody got all, whoa. But then it was, she managed to talk her way through it. But then it was like, oh, you get a one warning per person. It was like classic thing where you just, even in Amsterdam, I had problems doing parties just because once you're smoking in a place, you're saying, it's like, they're like, and this is on a rooftop where they, allowed people to smoke cigarettes or whatever. So it's like, okay, kind of weird. But then again, it is New York. But we pulled through, and it was actually a really good event because it was one of those deals where the main message ended up being, because of the fact that Pinsky, the reason he's on the Vice show partially is because he kicked his opioid habit with cannabis, which, that's something that we could easily kind of bring that message, at least to New York, you know what I mean? Because that's pretty apparent where it's like, okay, there's, and we had Dr. Uma, which is a Indian doctor that's out of Massachusetts, and she's awesome. She's like one of these like proper speakers, and she came, she was there and gave a kind of good speech to people to kind of end the night off, which was like, so it became like a half educational sort of, half, it was a stoner event, but it definitely had some sort of messages to it. So that was cool. And then Bloomberg was there, did a piece on it, which you're showing, and now I think he got an article in High Times today too. So now he's truly the king of mainstream, which is really stupid because I'm really the king of mainstream, obviously. But obviously they're not cashing out very good. But no, in general, I think it's okay and fitting because of the fact that who the fuck wants to be mainstream, right? That's like the worst thing ever. Like, last thing I want to do is be mainstream. But it is apparent that, as we get closer to sort of nationwide legalization, which is going to happen as far as, just a couple more states, and we've got a pretty much blanketed the entire country of medical, and then it only takes a short time as they're making money next door, and you're like, wait a minute, they're making all the money next door. Oh, they're recreational, of course they're making money next door. And then it'll just pop off. So, what's up with James? I didn't even... James, what are you doing to me? Calls me all... He gets his guests to call us on time, but when it's him, which would have been the 4:20, that's normally his time, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. Let's see what he's doing. Let's see. Where are you at? So...
We had someone pass away recently?
Oh, yes, of course. That's a sheesh. Yeah. Shock to the cannabis community the other day with passing of Mickey Martin, who was only like 42 or something like that, or something crazy. He was young.
I don't.
Strangest last message you've ever seen, where you're like, huh? Like left. Literally, I mean, he's one of those guys who dominated as far as his messaging when it came to, he could rile up anybody. He could, but he also recognized the good, which is, I mean, Mickey was a real character. He's one of those guys who, there was a lot of people out there who didn't understand what he was about, but he was definitely a family guy, which is awesome, and he was, it was about his kids and his family, and he was very much about justice. And we're doing a memorial for him here tomorrow from 4:20 to 7:10. So anybody in the Denver area that wants to come down. And the crazy thing is with Mickey, he's just one of those guys who, like, even after he's gone, he, like, within 24 hours, there was a lot of heat on the internet. I mean, Mark Emery spoke totally out of line, and now he's feeling the wrath pretty much. So, like I said, it's like It's one of those weird. It's like one of those crazy, like, even from the dead, Mickey Martin is fucking people's lives up, which is, pretty amazing thing. And on top of that, there's so many people coming out, which is great for the family and helping them out with that. But it's like, it's just it's a sad day, and it's too bad we did have him on the show once, which is awesome. So if you listen back, there is a Mickey Martin episode. Try to figure out what that is, because tried it the other night. I was like, I can't remember, but KTI, it's a job for KTI.
Yeah, for sure.
Some homework. We'll have KTI post it on our wall so we can at least, we'll try to get the best part of it. So we'll see what we can do.
Sure.
Chop out a piece. So yeah, it's tomorrow night here in Denver. I think there's other things going on in other places, but yeah, it's crazy news, and it's also one of those things where it just shows you how fragile life is. So keep an eye on everything you do, and especially especially like when you see, because right now I'm like, I had my birthday the other day, by the way. So last week was my birthday.
Right.
So I just turned 48, and it's like crazy when I just start seeing people that are like 6 years younger than me, and it's like, whoa, shit, it's definitely can hit. Things can happen to anybody anytime. So you have to keep an eye on yourself. Just eat good food, smoke good weed.
Yeah.
I quit drinking, so I can't say drink good beer anymore. But if you're gonna drink good beer at least. Come on.
Yeah.
Just all those things. Just take care of yourself.
Yep.
Take care of yourself.
All things in moderation, right?
So, I don't know what's up with James and Mean Gene. What's up with that? He had it all lined up. I don't have Mean Gene's info, so I can't, like, blast him, but we'll see. It was awesome to talk to guys from was his name Todd? Todd. So I kind of got it at first. It's one of those.
I don't know. And then I had the audio messed up because I had
Did you?
an update, so I was scrambling around trying to fix
I don't want to butcher.
So,
I don't want to butcher it any further.
Exactly.
But let's just say Coastal Seeds. How's that?
Coastal
And keep it correct. And also, I got a few other people that said they were going to call in too, but who knows? Everybody's slack. Maybe is our phone off? Is things on?
No.
Things are working.
Things are working.
All right. Well, I don't know. It's glitch in the matrix as usual.
For sure.
So at the Boston show coming up, I'll be basically at the CanaCon in Boston coming up in July. I think it's I don't even know. Look it up. CanaCon Boston. Let's figure it out. I think it was 19th and 20th or something like that. Could be. But I'll be there with both Cloverleaf University teaching for, I think I'll be doing a one-day kind of 101, 102 course on growing. And I'll also be there for Seats Here Now on a panel. And I think I'm doing a couple panels. There you go. Boom. What day is it?
In 20 days.
Whatever date that is.
Yeah.
They don't tell you?
No, it doesn't.
It says on the bottom, doesn't it, right there? No?
No. Oh, July 13th to the 15th.
Oh, see, I would have been wrong anyway. 13th to the 15th. All right, cool. So we're talking like 2.5, 3 weeks away. That's be interesting. I love the East Coast for the sort of fresh scene that's there, and people are excited to sort of join reality with the cannabis world. But it's always nice in these new but yet old networking things. And got a bunch of friends over there too, so it makes a good trip. I'm looking forward to it. And Dr. Uma, the one that I was just talking about, she's based out there. So yeah, so there we have us. See that cloverleaf at the bottom? Boom.
Yep.
There we are. Bam. That's I'll be whatever that is. Oh yeah, opening a business. So like a 3 hour long thing that I do. So, and last time I only had like an hour. It's terrible. I had to rush through my shit.
And you're trying to fix the internet the whole time. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I didn't have to do that. But yeah, looks like it's going to be a good event. So seats are now will be there. Everybody will be there. We're all going to be there, man. What other shows are coming up? There's a few. Is that one? I think there's another one in Seattle coming up after that. But these shows are running into each other. Like literally, the last one was Fort Lauderdale first with the Southwestern Cannabis thing. I can't keep up with the names too. It was the CECA. But good show. It was interesting. It was like a totally different crowd in Florida. Well, most guys were from New York, pretty much. Everybody that I met was from Florida, but not really from Florida. And I mean, there's some major money down there for sure. And but it's like the actual laws are pretty bad right now, as far as it's like, you know, it's a no flower state, so it's just all oil, and you know, it's kind of lame in a way because it's definitely lame, and for me it has to be both options,
right,
and home growing, of course. But it's interesting just to see places like that breaking open. Let's see what we got, mister. Well,
Mexico officially legalized medical marijuana.
Right.
Yeah.
But don't expect a swift rollout.
Yeah.
Meaning cartels are pissed, and yeah, I mean, well, for medical, I guess they can't really be pissed, can they?
No. Yeah, the president said that addiction should be thought of as a public health problem and that users should not be criminalized. Sure.
Well, I mean, they got so many more issues down there right now, so it is, right. And it is pretty obvious if you take. I mean, they're just talking medical too, so it's you know, it should be, and not like they don't have a shitload of weed there that they can work with, like, right? So, right. So it'd be good to get some of it to the right people, you know.
Sure.
And
that was interesting.
Oh, for sure. And let me give one more shot to Mr. James Bean. I don't know what's up with that. James, where you at? He must be in a bad zone. He must be. I told you he was in North Carolina. You never know. He's whoop whoop.
Right.
Pulled him over. Let's see. Yo. Did you do anything in the last couple of weeks when I was gone? Since you didn't have to do this, do you have any?
I had a show last weekend with my band.
Nice.
And that was all right. But as far as anything else, no. I haven't done anything. No.
You didn't do the Taco Tequila Fest thing yesterday?
Nope.
Cece,
no, I did not.
My wife Cece was there with her girlfriends, and
that's awesome.
They said it was pretty cool. It's like 40 kinds of tequila and 40 kinds of tacos.
Wow,
it's pretty dope.
You had to you just pay a fee to get in, and you get all that stuff, or like.
I'm sure you had to pay for the alcohol. I can't imagine they would just give it, but they were pretty much flowing like crazy, I think. So yeah, it sounded pretty good.
Nice.
They had some tequila Bloody Mary thing or something that was supposed to be off the chain.
Interesting. Yeah. And then
now that I don't drink, when my wife comes home, even after a couple days, it was off the chain. I'm like, okay, whatever. But it was her birthday, of course. She can roll out like that on her birthday. It's no problem.
Yep.
But see, that's so crazy about that, though. Like, you can have a taco fest with 40 kinds of tequila, but you can't have like a weed fest with fucking 40 kinds of weed. That would make everybody just eat more food and get
and sleep.
You know what I mean? And or just fucking chill out and not get all. I mean, I'm sure because tequila make you go nuts, dude. You know, that's like that's literally like the switch in your brain kind of alcohol stuff where it just it's like blackout drunk weirdness some people get. Of course, it's you get nice quality ones and stuff, and they'll be smooth, but effect wise, I'd say it's definitely the proper get nuts kind of alcohol out of all of them.
Oh yeah,
I mean, certain ones do certain things. That one just causes people to go get up on the table and pull his shoe off and throw it at something. That kind of violent. Like, what the fuck is that?
Tequila is like it's the quote unquote sativa of alcohol. It seems like, or something.
Sativa? I don't know.
No, just messing.
I don't know about that. It's kind of
whatever. I mean, if we're gonna
creeper, it's like a creeper weed.
Sure,
it would be like creeper weed where it kind of like you don't notice it at first, and all of a sudden you're on. Like I said, your like clothes are off or something.
Sure,
that's the one that people are like, why is he naked? Like, oh, he's on. It's like because it's blackout shit.
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
There's that little point where everything's all kind of exciting, though. That's what I was trying to say.
Oh, so look at that. Mr. Pinsky just fucking got back, so maybe I can get him on the line. Get him call in to show. Okay, what's the call-in number here? It's 720, right? Might as well say it to everybody. 720 310, right?
Yep.
8237, that's the call-in number, so if anybody out there wants to call in. Okay, oops. Let's see, 8237, boom. All right, so let him blabble for 10 minutes and he'll be super. Now for the, here, oop. Let's see if he does it. We'll see how much he responds.
Awesome. The line is open.
Now that he's king. Okay, he's calling in. Boom. Let's see. The king. All hail the king. All hail the fucking king.
What, the king of bullshit, maybe?
Oh,
right?
we know that. That's obvious. I don't know if you're the king now. I might even be the king of bullshit because I made you king. That's even worse. That's like I am the king.
I think the distinction here is it's not the king of marijuana, man. We already know that title's been claimed by another famous bullshit artist, right? But it's really mainstream, man. I think the key word that all the haters are missing is just the mainstream thing, right?
Exactly.
It's
so not real that it's obvious. Like, come on, guys.
Well, I mean,
mainstream
when you get crowned, all right, king of bullshit at a fucking comedy roast where everyone's talking about fucking you up the ass, it really is. It really carries a different weight. So,
exactly.
And I mean, like, look, in all fairness, no disrespect, but I mean, when Chloe Villano gives you an award, what does it really fucking mean anyway, right?
There you go. Boom. See, now you got material. You had no jokes that night. You were just big.
Oh no, I had jokes that
I know, but you didn't pull any. You pulled none out. I was like, what happened to all those jokes?
Here's what happened. Let me give you a piece of advice. Okay, this is for all the listeners at home. Okay,
Mom was there. Your mom was there. That was the problem.
All three listeners to the Adam Dunn Show right now. I would say that if you're ever going to do a weed event, okay, don't get fucking high on edibles at your own weed event.
Oh, right? Yeah, you ate a lot of edibles. That's true. I remember somebody said.
Yeah, man. All of a sudden, some fucking friend of mine handed me these gummy worms. I'm like, how strong is it? He's like 70 milligrams. Like 700 milligrams. So, if you will, Adam.
Yes, you were gummy down.
I can actually do my rebuttal roast right now live on the Adam Dunn Show.
Sure, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Do it.
All right, well,
I was waiting for this during the whole thing.
You've been waiting for this, right? Okay. Well, Chloe Villano.
Okay. Boom.
This one's for you, Chloe. Chloe, the only reason I had to throw my own roast is because you're more inept than Lamar Odom. What the fuck do you do this event except for ask me and my friends for money? How do you run a university when you can't even throw an event for 200 people? Stick to what you know, Chloe.
But big.
All right, boo, boo, boo. You want Abdullah?
Oh yeah,
I got Abdullah's.
Give me Abdullah's,
bro.
Actually, his. Wait, before you give me his, I would have to say, his was the most visual. Like I was like, he made me think about everything he said in a visual way, and I was all, man. It's disgusting.
You have to realize that Abdullah Saeed has the unfortunate privilege of living with me while we shoot on Bon Appetit.
Yeah, that's
so. Like
terrible.
Picture like, and I'm basically like an adult man, baby.
Yes,
so
yes.
Picture Abdullah and Ari Fishman are co-executive producer, and then me and Rye Pritchard living in a fucking house together.
Right.
Not only a house together, but the Bon Appetit house above the set and the cast and the crew, where everyone works downstairs, we all went legitimately stir crazy.
Right.
So yeah, my response to Abdullah Saeed, bro, have you even ever sold a dime bag in your life? Stop acting like you're Pablo fucking Escobar and just do you. And you're truly great at what you do. Coming up with ideas and executing those ideas. Working with you is always a pleasure, especially when you're calling me a dingleberry and spanking me like a badly behaved child. Let's get this straight, Abdullah. I was slinging pounds and touring with fish when you were eating tikka masala in your mom's womb. Yeah, Abdullah did do a good roast for sure.
Yeah, he was good.
I think Danko actually did.
Danko killed it
the
too.
Best one.
Danko killed it.
Danko was really my favorite because he's, he really
spent
put
a
the
week
time
not,
and energy.
he did a whole week not working for High Times to do that. You know that.
I heard he blew off some deadlines. Speaking of High Times, did you see High Times today?
Yeah, some dickbag was in there. Oh,
Asshole. Some asshole standing in with a photo in front of a lot of weed is in High Times. Basically. I got a call from Zoe Wilder about 2 months ago, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm doing a piece for Magical Butter's newsletter." And those guys are. We don't use the Magical Butter product on the show, but Garen's a friend, and those guys are okay. So I did the interview, and then it turns out that this interview, instead of running on Magical Butter, was picked up by High Times. So it's nice to have a little. And the cool thing about being featured in today's High Times is that it's not just an interview about my shit. It's really like a question and answer. So it gives, when I did it, it's just my shtick that kind of comes off the cuff. But seeing it captured in print is really nice because it does talk about really trying to give credit to the community at large, right? It's all of us that make everything that's going on with me and the bullshit crown and whatnot is it's humbling, right? Because weed has always been a community thing, and you roll a joint, you pass it. Half the people that we know and love, right, in our whole community is because of shit like weed and music. So really, it's important. It was important for me. I'll have this conversation with people in person. Well, especially people that help us to stock the pantry by saying, look, the work that we're doing here is bigger than me. It's bigger than the show. It's the best form of activism, right? Because what Bong Appetit does is it changes the narrative on cannabis to a global audience, which is it's kind of the best form of activism that we could be doing right now.
Well, you reach a lot of people. That's obvious, and that's
the messaging, man. At the core, it's we're not a weed show, right? Bong Appetit, it's a food show, and everyone fucking eats, man. So
yeah, it sounds a lot like Terp Quest. It's kind of crazy.
Turf
Quest was our thing. See, you stole that from me too.
Once again,
stole it again. You stole
let
it
me
right
just make sure
after
that the 4 listeners that are actually probably you now have 10 listeners.
12 now because of you. 12 because of you.
Okay, still okay.
Tell me the
52,
story.
dude. That's more than I get when I broadcast myself.
Your motorcycle. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that, dude. They're just the only people watching that are waiting for you to crash. Obviously, you know that.
Well, so true story. The real reason that I fucking film those Instagrams is in the unfortunate event that I have my untimely demise. I actually go now that I've been in this. So this way it'll just be captured forever.
Yeah.
Which would suck, but would also be fucking weird.
Pretty epic.
Cool.
Pretty epic. You can try it. Hey, so, dude, I give you permission, dude. No problem. I give you permission. Try it. Try it. No,
since I've been back in the city,
I can't see now the roast. That's the thing that me and Danny figured out, though. Once you do these roast things, you can't stop. It's just now, we already were roasting each other. That's obvious. But now you get into the whole you gotta deliver it differently, and it's oh no.
Well, yeah, look, the one thing that I will give Chloe credit for is she did create a vehicle by which we can now all fuck with each other on the. Abdullah came over to my place the other day, and he's like, "Dude, man, I want to get roasted now." So everyone. And actually,
I don't know
the
if I
next
want to
person
get roasted.
who's getting roasted is you, dude. You realize this?
Yeah,
Adam Dunn.
I figured that.
Yeah, dude, come on, man.
Who else?
We've been working on.
Yeah, I know. It's a big. I'm down. Go for it. Go for it, guys. Throw me your best.
Your roast, though, I think we'll have to really like dig into the archives for all the people that like you still owe money to or fucking you know what I'm saying? Like,
there's a few out there. There's a few. There's a lot more that owe me though, unfortunately. So
I think in any business you have. If I remember from my accounting class in the senior year in high school, there's a bad debts expense that you just factor into your costs, right? Kind of how it works.
Exactly. Try to keep that to a slim minimum if possible, but they're out there. So what's your plans now that you're king and you're taking like just going around the city and people just throwing joints at you, or what's going down? Like, is it getting crazy? No. Nobody. Everyone's just busting your balls. Everyone's now busting your balls openly, just like me.
I mean,
no one's.
Look, you are really the king, dude. All right, if you want to be honest, you're the king of busting my balls.
Yes.
I have your roast response. Hang on one second.
Oh yeah,
See.
Give me mine. Come on, that's what I'm waiting for.
Dunn. If you spend half the amount of time and energy you spend on making memes about me, maybe you'd be known for something besides a seed company in the '90s and a hoodie for looks.
Is that the only one, or you had a couple?
You notice how that one cracked me up more than anything?
Yeah, I like it. It's almost correct.
I was cool.
It's almost correct, but the looks don't shop at Nordstrom's. That's the problem. So I would be like, I don't know.
Right. Listen, dude. You want to walk into my closet? All right, I have a fucking photo I could send you.
Yeah.
There's 14 black hoodlum 3Xs.
Yeah, I bet.
T-shirts, okay?
I bet.
That's like So as much as I could bust your balls,
sure.
All right. It's pretty much standard uniform for me.
Right.
You know who else wore the same fucking thing every day? Other geniuses like fucking Albert Einstein and fucking Zuckerberg. But really, the guy who wore a black T-shirt every day is the fucking fat man himself, dude, Garcia. You know what I mean? So like
I'm keeping it real.
I'm keeping it real. Shout out to Sean Dietrich and Vincent Gordon. You know what I got in the mail and I just opened up?
What's that?
I'm going to post some photos of it. It's their, they do their Fear and Loathing series.
Yeah.
So I commissioned. Oh man, at your fucking place. Okay, true story.
Mm-hmm.
My first fucking time re-meeting with you, because I'm pretty sure. I know that, dude. We met in '94 in Amsterdam because I remember fucking the videos of the Trichome Challenge, right? But when we re-met, okay, and so the guy that re-linked us, okay, is our friend Carlos, right? Who affectionately known amongst us as Big Dummy. All right,
that's right.
Big Dummy linked me up with fucking Dunn. Okay, and said, Pinsky, you going to Denver? Go to the Hood Lab and just sit on the fucking couch and shut the fuck up. And that's basically what happened, okay, in December of 2013.
Right.
And at that, in that meeting, you hosted the VIP thing for the Secret Cup.
Right.
And Vincent Gordon, okay, was there, right, doing his art.
Yep.
And had all this amazing Fear and Loathing, shit. And I was like, dude. There was a bunch of them at the time. There was a Seattle one. I think he had just done a Denver one, which Dave Von Villen bought the original for.
Yep.
And I was like, bro, I need Fear and Loathing in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave him a down payment, and then it took me like fucking every time I would see him at like Champs or like whatever, I'd give him another $1,000, and like then him and Sean basically Dietrich did this fucking collab.
Nice.
It's what is that? 3 feet? What is it? So it's 6 feet. It's 2 panels on wood. And it's 6 feet long, man.
That's beautiful.
I
can already tell it's going to be good.
It's sick, dude. Basically, what I did was I sent him a bunch of photos and a bunch of shit that I think is cool in Brooklyn and shit that's in my look. That's my fucking building, dude. That's where I am, right here. Look, that's where I am, right here, dude. It's really fucking cool. Those guys are like, so it took me 3 years to pay for it. It took them fucking 3 years to do it. Those motherfuckers, right?
Perfect timing.
And
exactly.
And So anyway, that's what's going on with me.
That's a good summer. That's a good timing though. They dropped it right at the time that you needed it. Because. Before, you wouldn't be able to be on a show because nobody would give a fuck. But now that you're king, you're so wanted and needed.
No, dude.
You're the well, actually, the part that I thought that was the funniest on the article is that you had me listed as a sour diesel expert now, and now.
First of all, I didn't write that article.
I know you did it.
You are true story. I didn't write the fucking article, and I didn't actually throw my own roast. Okay, no. But. I will say this, dude. You are the sour diesel expert, right? I mean, like if I have it correctly, you were really the first, dude to kind of get everyone on the phone and, tell the story.
Oh,
and
for sure. No, I mean, I know, we know all the players, and we know the situation, and it's going to get, the bro, I don't know why he didn't show up. It was like, he was supposed to be there. It was gonna be even more epic if he showed up. But now I'm trying to get the bro back on to kind of do his part, and then we'll get some rebuttals, and then it's gonna turn into a 50-part series. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be this.
Honestly, dude, they're I've heard rumors about there being maybe a 50-part series to tell that story.
It seems
in and of itself.
It does, because every time I think it's over, it's like, really? Is that someone else? So it's good though. I mean, it keeps it interesting, and it's also funny to see the response from the crowd, or just the people there, because you're in Sourland. Everyone. That's all they know. That's all we know. That's all we want.
Yeah,
that's all we know. And but it was good to actually smoke some there and see.
Didn't I? I mean, let me ask you a question, dude. Wasn't that fucking? I gave you some weed, right?
Yes, you did. Yeah,
was that good weed or what?
It was great. And I even still have a tiny bud of it here. I was like, I should have brought it today.
It was better. And let me tell you, it was better than the dog shit that AJ submitted at the fucking ADSI, right? I mean, hands down.
100%.
You can't take freezer weed and submit it for competition when in your coming out of the closet party. You know what I'm saying? Like, no disrespect.
It's got to be handled properly. That's the main thing.
It's got to be handled properly. Yeah, man. So true story. That sour that I gave you was still fucking good in June. I got it in January before I left. It's been sitting in my house.
Nice. Well, yeah, it was definitely impressive, my friend. Now you got to keep it like that. You have to keep it like that because now you got a title. You can't be messing around. Can't catch you. Can't catch you slipping now.
Here's the truth, dude. Like my show might be putting it mainstream, right? Yeah. But it's not. Well, I shouldn't even say it, right. I mean this. It is the collective work of all of us in the community. Like I might speak to a larger audience, but your show, dude, keeps it like. The content on your show for the people in the weed community, even if there's only fucking 50 motherfuckers, at one time that are listening live,
sure. Yeah.
The replays and the broadcasts and whatnot, it's respect to your work, dude, because it really is.
It's fun to do.
It really is good for the core community and tells a lot of fucking stories. You can't get access. It's like the same way that I stock the pantry and have it's the relationships.
Right.
From being in this shit for 20 years that you and I have that enable us to...
It was an interesting party because, I met DJ Gravy randomly with another friend of mine just the day before, just going to dinner. We sat down at the dinner table together, and he's like, hey, what's your name? I'm like, Adam. He's like, oh, I'm Gravy. I'm like, cool. He's like, what are you here for? I'm like, oh, I'm here to do a roast. He's like, oh, you mean Pinsky? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I've known that motherfucker for 25 years. I was like, this is going to be a great dinner, dude. This is going to be the best dinner ever. I was like, this is perfect. So
if you think about it, let me tell you something. There were about 100 extra, like the room capacity was 250.
Right.
And then, but I had 100 people on my guest list, So, sorry to everyone that, fucking bought a VIP ticket and was pissed off that you didn't have your dick sucked that night, all right? But, dude, the cast of characters in that room, all right?
It was awesome.
It was the crews that came out for that shit was pretty fucking epic.
Right.
And it's actually really nice to see that these days. It's just like my story with AJ. I knew AJ in '95, right? But I never got weed from him because all the motherfuckers that did kept that. You always kept your connects and your custodies right, fucking on.
I know. And we knew exactly where you were. You were down there in Custyville.
So it's like I was one guy away from AJ. Right. Back in the day, and now it's just nice to see in the last couple of years that all the heads basically realize that it's either we fucking work together or the fucking douchebags are gonna
right.
are gonna infiltrate, and the douchebags are infiltrating, but it's I think it's good that at the core of our community we're
trying to do it. I mean, the hard part is that it kind of comes in a cycle where you see it. It's like the original people, like the guys from Dab and Cabin that were there from Maine. Those guys crushing it. The material. You saw what they brought with them? Did they give you any samples of it? That was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like guys like that, you can tell are killing it, but all it takes is like one big corporate motherfucker to come in and like buy them all and buying it all out. And that's just kind of what's happening. Cause
I gotta tell you what, man. The thing, weed is turning into like a commodity, like in market, right? On one hand, we'll sit here and say, man, we just want it to grow like broccoli, so fucking it could be like really cheap or whatever.
Yeah.
But on the same token, in any commodity market, it's two things that differentiate your product from the rest, right? It's quality and branding, right? So I think that's really the land grab right now.
Sure.
Is building your brand. And then being able to.
It's getting the crossover at the right spot where you're branded properly and you're actually delivering decent product. 'Cause that's the whole problem. Is like people do everything great except for the fucking weed that went into the container. You're like, okay, so your container's gorgeous and the shop is beautiful and everything's great, but this weed sucks. And that's not a good, and a lot of times...
That's what I just said. The quality and branding go hand in hand. They're equally as important,
even more.
Man, how do you fucking still live in Denver, dude? All right? Look, the weed in Denver is great, except for it's great for like
it's great
6 hours.
It's great when you grow it yourself and you can actually, do it. It's not, I wouldn't buy weed here personally. I understand that.
You can't buy weed in Denver, man. It's just too dried out and but then again, right? Even in any
it's the same. Like Amsterdam was the opposite. It was always wet when you bought it, and that was the other problem. It was like so it didn't matter. Like it's kind of like the same. Everyone would come from Cali. They come to my shop. They'd say, "This weed sucks," and I'd be like, "Yeah, it's because it's like rushed out and dried quick and stupid." But if you
the best shit has always been, it's just like going to a farmer's market,
and then you show them something, and you'd be like, "Oh, okay, now I see good. Finally, there's some good weed here." And you're like, "Yeah, it's here. Don't worry. It's just not in every shop."
You're always going to get the best shit in a more farm to table approach as opposed to mass marketed shit.
Yeah, well, it was interesting to be in New York and see how that's the big trend now too, where it's all artisanal, small. People are trying to go for that but at the same time, you got to be careful because that's also the obvious way that the bigger people are going to try to market their stuff. Is like, oh look, it's farm to table ish, you know what I mean? But it's not really, They catch a lot of those things.
Do you? I don't know if you do you hear the traffic going on behind me?
Yeah,
fucking horns and shit.
Yeah.
What a difference! You're coming back to New York, man. So living in LA, when I moved out to LA to shoot the show, and I've been out there like for the last 9 months, like 7 out of the last 9 months. I fucking hated it. I was like, fuck LA, all these fucking fake people, whatever. And then I started to live there, and LA has really grown on me, dude. It's like not only is it like the center of the weed and media universe right now,
right?
But dude, you've got the fucking beach over
here. You got Matt Stang there, dude. That's why
I know, dude. I mean, like at the end of the day, right? You can go to fucking Stang's office and hang out. So
you just feel like you're still there. So there you go. Nothing's changed.
Oh my god.
But in general, yeah, it is such a different vibe because you go back to New York. I mean, I like it because it's like I'm in Denver where it's all slow and mellow, and now I go there and I'm like, yeah, I can move around. I just can't be with anybody. That's the problem. I get there with a bunch of people from Denver or a bunch of people from somewhere else, and it's just like herding cats. You know what I mean? Everyone's looking around.
Yeah, but you're coming in a different set of circumstances. You're coming like with a cast of characters, to do an event.
Yeah,
right.
It's more. But whenever I get there, I get into solo mode. I just go like, all right, I'm out of here. Go on. It's much easier to move around New York by yourself. But fuck, I spent a lot of money.
It's much easier to move around anywhere by yourself. I have a very strict policy at like trade shows and different shit like that. Like you'll never see me at a fucking trade show with anyone, dude, except, it's like that.
No one wants, who the hell wants to be with you in the first place, dude? That's obvious.
True, but I'm just
obvious.
When you see me at a trade show, I have a very linear approach. I always want to start at the fucking beginning aisle and walk the fucking things.
I know. You grab all the free stuff you can. I know the type. I know the type.
I need more sushi.
I gotta go straight down. I'm gonna grab as much shit. I'm just gonna not even gonna make eye contact. Yeah. Give me. I know.
Let me tell you something. All right, it takes a pretty honed skill set, dude, to fucking ask for shit. All right, and you have to. It's got to be reciprocated, man. You got to I wouldn't.
Well, now you got a vehicle now. Now once you say Vice.
Well, the thing is, this is what I was saying to you before. The people that work with us on Bon Appetit that help us to stock the pantry or help us with weed locations or ideas or products or any of that shit, it's like I tell people, you may get your shit on TV, but that's not the point of this. Like, the point of this is that we have that collectively our community is like, we're rewriting the script, dude. It was the media that, portrayed cannabis as marijuana, right, a century ago, right? So for all of us, right, for you and what you do, and for me and what I do, for all the growers and product, processors and all the fucking people that are actively part of this community, it's the key word, right? But it's activism, dude, right? Mm-hmm. We collectively are, and we wouldn't be able to do Bong Appetit without the support of the fucking community. So when you catch me asking for free shit, just know that, that there's you're like, yeah, Pinsky, whatever, dude. Didn't I just tell you I got the fucking award for being the king of bullshit, bro? Well,
of course. This comes with it, of course.
It just comes with it, bro.
Well, I look forward to making more memes of you, of course. Now that you're the king, I can have a whole other angle to work off. I haven't even gone there. You saw that. What's that?
You came to bat for me, man. I love that you started to fucking use memes in the defense of. Look. In any case.
Well, you're such a memeable guy. That's the thing. It's just
I know, dude. I know.
You notice that.
Continue to stay up at 3. I could fucking post something at Facebook. It's 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And by 5:03 a.m. you'll have it up, modified.
That's it.
Oh,
That's
and can I just say that that shit you did with me and Ariane, dude, is probably could not be more appropriate for right now. I actually think I need to get that and post that on my page directly, as opposed to it being somewhere lost in the comments, because that really is.
I can do that.
That was really maybe some of your best work. Yeah, if you want to send me the original, I'll be happy to do that. Just so you know, what's that?
Go ahead. I'm doing that.
There's a direct relationship between cockroaches and Adam Dunn, right? For every cockroach you see in fucking New York City, you know that there's 100,000 hiding in the fucking walls behind it.
Right.
Or for every meme that you see of me online, just know that there's 100,000 more waiting in fucking Adam's private collection. That when he fucking I can picture you beating off to my memes at 5 a.m. and then getting a notice from Facebook that I posted something just so you have more material.
Definitely. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say I'd go that far, but I definitely it does trigger
I beat off to my memes.
A happy emotion that I know I have some victim that I can just go, especially when you post the right one. So.
It's good, dude. It's good. Well, you are my spirit animal, Dunn. So
thank you, sir.
I will leave you with that, my friend.
Okay.
Thank you for including me in today's
for calling in
today's show.
Perfect timing, as usual. It's all about timing, my friend. So it took you 20 fucking years to get it together, but that's okay.
I know, dude.
Same as everybody. All of us.
There were some disastrous fucking. There were some. You gotta. Life is filled with peaks and valleys. There's nothing better than a good comeback. So I'll leave you with that, my friend.
All right, peace. Take care, man.
All right, peace.
Bye. And we had a full show. There you go. Boom. That's how it rolls. You never know who's going to be on the Adam Dunn show. Could be the king of bullshit himself, Jason Pinsky. Could be informative stuff of guys named Todd. We hope, but the guy from Coastal. That's brain. And if James would have called in, we would have had all sorts of other news. But I guess he's being held up, arrested in North Carolina, maybe? I don't know. The border. He's at the border, man.
Gotcha.
Never stop at the gas station, bro. And near the border, you got to keep going. You got to get in the middle. They always hang out at those border things. Go watch out. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Went a little over time, but that's always, I don't think that's a bad thing, right? A couple extra minutes.
Nope.
We'll talk next week. I think we're going to have a big 3-hour power hour phone, crazy, everything. We'll see. Maybe nothing, but I think we will. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a party. And then I think we're going to have Crockett on maybe the week after that, and a few other people. We're actually going to start to get a little bit of a schedule and actually know who's going to be on, maybe. But, those things are always... I kind of like the not knowing. It's part of the...
kind of cool.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of random.
I'm used to that.
A little bit nerve-wracking when you don't have anything figured out at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
2:30.
Yeah, 1:30, 2:30. Hey, maybe we could do a show on this. But yeah, if you have any suggestions of shows you want to see, obviously there was a thread started by James that was basically asking that, which is cool. We got some feedback there. But if you got any more, you just want to send it to info@AdamDunn Show, and we'll check it out. And I want a big shout out to my beautiful wife Cece, who had her 40th birthday yesterday, and had a good old time going out to that taco spot.
Happy birthday.
And then little Nick, who is on his last week of preschool. Major
stuff.
Yeah, last week, and then he's going to graduate he's going to leave there. I don't know if he graduate officially, but
I know how that goes.
Yeah, he's going to come on his birthday, 29th. And then we have a big birthday going on down south at the farm with Ace. Also, shout out down there with Andy and Sonny. And shout out to Joel. And, yeah, anybody out there, all the fans.
Chat gang.
All the people who listen to the show. And anybody new, go back and listen to some old stuff if you want to hear some. We got lots of shows on serious shit. We got lots of shows on a bunch of bullshit, but we got lots of shows. So just go check out some of the old archives. And we'll see you guys next week with the 3-hour party hour. Party.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
Peace out.
Peace.
Practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own hidden messages.
A special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing. We want you to smoke the natural herb. Some call it marijuana, some call it sensimedia, some call it lamb's bread, and some people call it